Hey guys, it's Rachel from the Lord Ring Lamb, and obviously you know from the title I have a book review on The Nine Lives of Chloe King, the third book, The Chosen, and this is by Liz Braswell, and I own the bind-up edition. So there will be spoilers, not necessarily right away, but I could slip out something about the first two books. So if you haven't read the first two books, I suggest reading them, or you can look at the first book review. These are no spoilers, so you can look at the first book review, but the second or third, The Stolen and the Chosen, don't look at those yet. Come back after you finish the book or when you're about to start the book, because once again, no spoilers. So basically, I'll read the back of the book because it sums up all the books without giving up spoilers, because I don't want to spoil anything because there's not individual plot summary kind of things. So it says, dying can really change a girl's life. Chloe King is a normal girl. She goes to class most of the time, fights with her mom, and crushes on a boy or two. But around her 16th birthday, Chloe finds that perhaps she isn't so normal after all. There's a heightened night vision, the super fast reflexes, oh, and the claws. As she discovers who she is and where she comes from, it is clear she's not alone, and someone is out to get her. Chloe has 9 lives, but will 9 be enough? So that's a brief synopsis that sums up all 3 novels. And this took me quite a while to get through. I think somebody requested me to read it April, if I'm not sure, and I feel really bad because it's taken me so long to finish this. I know this is up in June because last week I was quite busy, so I was like, I need to get this up so I can be finished with May and put it behind me and focus on June. So if you're new to my videos, you might not know I rate my books in 5 different categories: plot, characters, cover, suspense, and overall. But the only one that is exempt from this one is cover. If you watch my first book review in the fall, and you can hear my opinions about the cover there, but it's going to be exempt from this one because it's kind of redundant. So, plot, I give a 3 out of 5. I really like this plot. I really liked how they summed up the book. They didn't really leave that many loose ends. Obviously, another book would be good to see her progress in the future, but it was a nice ending, and I was satisfied with it. During the book, though, I found sometimes some parts dragged out too long, and some dialogue I would like to see more interaction with her my people. I would have really liked to see that. And some of the plot points didn't make as much sense to me. Like, they seem realistic enough, but to me it didn't really seem like that would be realistic. And they never really talked about her they never really talked about her original family, because as we know she's adopted. They never really go in depth. Characters, I give a 4.5 out of 5. This is the highest rating for characters. Now, if you watch my first two, you might know Amy, Chloe's best friend, really irked me. I didn't really like her character, but the rating got 4.5 because I like her character a little bit better now. That's the only character I was a little unsure about. But I like her character better. I think maybe just because what was happening in the book to that character made her come off as kind of rude, and I didn't like that. But I enjoyed the character more in this novel in the series, and I was satisfied with all the characters' endings, and I really like the interaction you see between Anna and Chloe. So cover I already did, of course. Suspense, I give a 3.5 out of 5. So the suspense level is pretty good, but obviously this took me a long time to read, so the suspense wasn't that high. But this book, I think, was a higher suspense level than The Stolen, because The Stolen was the second book. I talked about this in my last book review on the second book, but the second books in a series sometimes can't live up to the first book, or it's the other way around. So it's quite hard. There's examples in each, like, for example, like Sisterhood, the Traveling Pants. The second book, I liked the first and third book more than the second book. I know there's a fourth and fifth book, but just leave it at that. But The Hunger Games, I really like Catching Fire more than any of the other books. So it does differ between series, but for the most part, I find the second books usually don't live up. Well, at least what I'm reading. But they're still equally good. Well, yeah, they don't live up to what I wanted, but they're still good. Yeah, that was really confusing. Overall, I give this book a 2 out of 5. I would definitely read this again someday, but I don't think anytime soon because this took me a long time to read. And as you know, while I was reading this, I was in a reading slump, so it was very discouraging. And I think I'm just going to read some lighter books for the time being. And if you've been keeping up, you know I'll be reading the Pretty Liars series, and those are nice light books. Not really fun, like, I guess they're fun to read, but what happens in it is not necessarily fun for the girls. But they're really good, like, chick books. Like, I call them kind of like chick lit, but they're not chick lit. They're more darker than that. But they have some like girly aspects, they have some dark things, but they're definitely a read for both male and female. I definitely, like, doesn't matter, like, just check it out. Anybody can read those books. They're really, really good. And I have to stop calling them my girly books, because I always call them girly books because, you know, I'm a girl. And I read them, but they're not girly books. So if I say like chick lit or something, I'm not trying to discourage anybody from reading it. It's just force of bad habit, which I'm working on. But yeah, like, and I think either boy or girl would love this book too, because it does have the action component that a lot of people love, boys and girls. And it does have some dialogue and stuff like that. And I think this is a good book. I checked out the series on YouTube, and I just don't really have an interest in watching it because it does have 10 episodes, and what if I get attached? And then I'm like, well, like, no more episodes. Um, Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Sorry I was a bit rambly in this video, and I will see you guys later.